them, but we talked about this, when you start showing them, teaching them, helping them to start developing their mind, you give them something that they can carry through their life. Nobody can take away from them.
Yeah.
So, anyone else? Take away from what the video of Bob? How are you, well, he talked about to reach your clearly defined goal. What were the steps that he mentioned? Every one of us, whether we're aware or not, we have a goal. Every day we're chasing goals. Whether we choose it or not, most of us, we didn't. We're just thinking that's what we need to do. If someone wants to go and be engineering, they have to go 4 years to school, and that's their goal. And they go and do it to become engineering.
But it's not necessarily what they really love to do. They just think, okay,
Conformity,
this is,
yeah.
It's conformity.
Yeah.
They're not deciding.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, everybody, especially in it's different. The Middle Eastern cultures is a little bit different. You always have to go be a doctor, lawyer, or engineering, right? And why? Because everybody was saying, hey, these individuals have a good retirement, they make good money. Nobody ever asked, are they happy?
Yeah.
Nobody ever said, is that what you want? They're all like, just all mostly brainwashed to go do these things and go to school because it has a great, you can make a good money, and it wasn't about want, it was about necessity.
Yeah. A lot of time what drives them is, I want to go into this because it pays this much money.
Exactly.
It's not, okay, this is what I really, really, truly love. I remember, I had gone through, was going through a nursing program and shadowing a nurse that had the worst attitude.
Yeah.
And never gave you eye contact. You could tell she really hated her job. You were shadowing her, and she wasn't even compassionate to the people that she was caring for. And the first thing that just kept coming to my mind was, you're only doing this because this pays you well, because you really don't like your job, and she, every bit of her body language, her actions, everything showed she really hated her job.
Yeah. How many people we know like that?
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I had an attorney in Iran contact me and says, hey, she called me, and she's one of our individual in our program, and she says, hey, I'm really sick and tired of going to court and doing this, and the laws are changing every 5 years, complaining. I said, you have a wrong goal. You haven't experienced a good goal setting. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, you went and picked being an attorney for what reason? Oh, it pays good, and I'm an attorney, social level, blah, 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 this and that. I was like, okay, so you didn't go there to serve others. You went there for you. You didn't went there and say, hey, I'm going to be the best attorney. I'm going to do more than what I'm getting paid for. I love what I'm doing. I'm helping others. Then result of that is money, because you enjoy what you're doing. Mm-hmm. She goes, oh, yeah, you're right. Because my dad was always telling me, hey, if you want to become successful, there's really good money in being an attorney. And that's why she wanted to be an attorney. And she was miserable. And now she's thinking to start coaching and helping others and start maybe taking another goal and go do something else. And she spent how many years? 50 years of her life to get where she's at.
Well, it's kind of the example of Sandy Gallagher.
Yeah.
She was an attorney and said when she made the decision that she was going to start teaching this, her dad, everybody thought she was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? And she was very successful at what she was doing. Yet she just said everything about her learning this information was just drawing her to, she could really she was very passionate about wanting to do this. So yeah, just to take that leap of faith as well.
We're talking about a clearly defined goal. Focus, you need to use your imagination. You need to use your reasoning factor. And very, very, very important one is will. What does will do?
You're holding it closer to you. You're keeping the GPS very set, and when you're holding it with your will, all your focus is directly on what you're imaging.
Yeah. Will is focus, and you're preoccupied with that image. That's huge. What does preoccupying mean to you guys? I heard this from Neville Goddard. It's saying that you need to be preoccupied. The holding image, everybody has a different definition of holding your vision, but what's the difference of holding your vision and being preoccupied? Go ahead, Veronica. I think you're on mute. I don't know if you meant to say something.
Sorry, the dog's barking over here. Just being on a constant rhythm. Sorry.
Okay.
The dog wants to talk.
What does she think?
She's preoccupied.
What do you guys think about preoccupied? Thank you, Veronica. What do you think, Larry?
It's to fill your mind with thoughts of whatever you're in harmony with, really. That's what you're doing. That's my interpretation of it. Yeah.
Selecting, yeah. Go ahead.
Will is your ability to select the images you're going to work with.
For me, it's not in control. That's what my perception on the word.
You're not what?
You're not
I'm preoccupied?
Yeah,
You're not in control?
yeah. That's what my perception on it. You're not. If you're preoccupied, to me, it's you're not directing the mind to the thing that you want. It's just a daily trivia, like you.
No. The image that you want. If you're preoccupied, the image that you desire, what does that mean? What does that look like?
That's all you're thinking about. That's what you're emotionalizing with that. That's all you're thinking about is those thoughts.
That's right.
It can be positive or negative.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about preoccupying, that means you can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's constantly sending a message to your brain. Your mind is constantly sending a message to your brain. Your brain is electronic switches, right? Immediately you start thinking about it. The flash of that image comes to your mind, on the screen of your mind. You're always thinking about it. You're obsessed with it. You talk to people about it. You get up for it. You start using your time. You're trading your time for it.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's what your preoccupation means. When you image, and then you know that that's something that you want. Go ahead.
Pre is before. So if you're you're already actualizing, thinking about whatever it is that you're thinking about. So you already have an image already in the forefront. Occupied, you're already occupied with the vision.
Yeah. Self-poised. Do you guys know what that word means? Self-poised. I love this word. That means you are self-poised with that image. And this is what you want. And you're not negotiating for anything less. We talk about this, and everybody consciously says yes, but the process of having that image as being you preoccupied by it is really auto-suggestion and really understanding, is that what you want? Is that what I want to trade my time for? Does that fulfill me? That's the key right there.
It's creative imagination. If it's pre-done, that means you're seeing it in the forefront.
Yeah.
So that means you're already imagining and playing with an idea before you see it in form. Every time. It's pre-done.
Means you're controlling time.
Yeah, you're controlling time because you're controlling thought.
So if I hear this right, holding the vision is using the will in your mind, and preoccupied means it's in the subconscious because you've done the work. Is that right?
Preoccupied here is that's something that not you've done the work. That means you're constantly in motion of that vision, constantly in motion, regardless of what's going on outside, regardless of what your wife, your family, your kids, your employee, your friends tell you. Regardless of what's happening, you're always taking action. Your emotionalizing with that, and you start taking motion.
It could be already doing the work if Bob's taking it in the direction of predestination, pre-thinking. You do the work before you actually touch something. So if you take it in the manner, I don't know if Bob's taking in that direction, but you can pre-do the work in your mind and then move it into form. Preoccupied is you're already emotionally involved with the vision, and you're rearranging them in order. If it suits you, of course. If it's something that you predestined, not just blind thought or programming, just moving your body.
Yeah, the preoccupied means you selected what you want, obviously, and that's what you're doing every day. That's why I talk to people. They say, hey, I have this big dream, and after a while that dream is fading away. You know why? Because it was too big and they couldn't see themselves there in their imagination, right? So therefore, the goal fade away. What happens is you got to know what is it that you want, and you got to be the best of you every day. Because you're performing every day, whether you want or not. You're always transforming the energy. You let the energy go through your body, right? So these little everyday's performance is going to lead you to that image or big dreams that you want.
Think about preoccupied as, let's say there's a lot of people that are preoccupied with their fears and the doubts and the worries. Well, that's what's coming.
Yeah.
A lot of people are preoccupied with the past instead of being preoccupied with the vision, right? So our perception can analyze preoccupied in many different ways, but when we're preoccupied with our vision and our goal and where we're going, and we're going to track those things. We can use words in any manner. I like visioneering, the word visioneering, desire, focus, will. For me, I use those words because that identifies where I'm going. But a lot of people are preoccupied with the things that no longer serve them, and they're using the pre-thought for mediocre things. We can use the pre-thought to design something new and work that image.
I was reading an article about Elon Musk and one of his employees at SpaceX, and she says the thing she had to learn is that he would come and say something, and she had to stop her mind from saying, no, well, that can't be done, because he comes in and just disrupts all the time, because he's constantly looking for the next thing. And so she's learned over time, over the last 15 years, to just take a beat and then start thinking about how it could happen, rather than having her mind immediately go to, you can't do that.
Yeah. What other takeaway, guys, that you took from our conversation or the video of Bob? Thank you, Jake. Bob, did we answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
And the one thing I'm taking away from this is your suggestion of stopping throughout your day to check in with yourself to figure out where you're at, and then recharging yourself by visualizing yourself being that person you want to be.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
You're always working with your self-image, and it's good to have a good vision and a goal that you're working towards. Otherwise, you're working towards nothing if you don't have a goal.
When we talk about desire, your desire, why we're talking about desire is because desire has to be bigger than your program. And when we talk about desire has to be bigger than program to overcome it. Otherwise, your program is there, has been there this many years that you've been living. And it's going to take, always is there to take control of your life. So that has to be that burning desire along with faith for you to override that program.
You can use that word program, current reality. What you're trying to override or rearrange is the order of the events that you're seeing around you. And if you don't like them, it's up to you to choose the images that you're going to work with. But to choose the images that you're going to work with means you've got to redefine who you are and where you're going.
All progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view, nor accepted the world as it is. Whose world? Your world, your reality. That's what Abraham was mentioning.